Hi, I'm Therese, and today I'll show you how to use an LCD display with your Arduino Uno to create a fortune teller. The display will print answers to questions that we ask, and we will learn how to use a function called random to randomize the answers. We will also use a built-in library to control the display. There are quite many connections on the LCD display component, and we will not use all of them, but it can be good to understand what each pin is doing. I will show you later when we create the circuit, but make sure to check page 117, step 3 to 6 in the project's book to read more about them. We will also need a tilt switch to start the program, a potentiometer to adjust the contrast on the display, and some resistors. If you haven't used a tilt switch or a potentiometer before, check out the tutorials for project 5 and 8 and also in the project's book. Let's create the circuit now. Make sure that nothing is connected to your board, and I've already started by connecting the power and ground rails here. I've also connected the tilt switch as we did in project 8 digital hourglass, so make sure you check that out if you haven't. Let's look at the LCD display. As you can see, it has plenty of pins, and if you look closely, there are labels for each. You can use a magnifying glass if it's difficult to read. We will use all except some of the data pins in the middle. The pins will all fit into one row each, so I'll place it here in the bottom and all the way to the right to have as much space as possible. We'll start by connecting the power and ground pin for the backlight LED. These are the two topmost pins and are labeled LED plus and LED minus and should be connected to power and ground. Note that the power pin of the LED needs to be connected to power through a 220 ohm resistor. Next, we'll connect the data pins, which are used to send character data to the screen. We will use data pin 4 to 7, and they'll go to digital pin 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we'll connect the pin labeled with E or EN, which is the enabling pin, and enables writing to its registers. There are data registers, which stores the characters that we send to the display, and instruction registers, which is where the LCD's controller looks for instructions on what to do next. Connect E to pin 11. The pin below E is the read or write pin, labeled with R/W. Depending on if this pin receives high or low, the display will be put in either read mode or write mode. We want it to be in write mode in order to display our messages, so we'll connect this to ground to receive low. The pin labeled RS is the register select pin. This controls where in the LCD's memory you're writing data to, and we will connect this to digital pin 12. To change the contrast of the display, we'll use the pin labeled V0. This pin reads a voltage, which will determine the contrast. We will connect it to 5 volts and ground through a potentiometer. Finally, we'll connect the entire display to ground and power from the two bottommost pins, labeled VSS for ground and VCC or VDD for power. Now that we have connected all necessary pins to our LCD display, we can connect the board to our computer and upload the sketch. In the code, we start with importing the liquid crystal library and setting the pins we use with it. Visit arduino.cc/LCD library to read more on how to use this particular library, and check out project 5 Mood Cue if you haven't used any library at all. As usual, we create our contents before the setup, and in the setup we tell the board which pins we're using for what. The LCD library needs to know how big your display is, which in our case is 16 characters multiplied by 2 rows. We also write a small introductory message in the setup, which we do by using the LCD library's built-in function called print. In the beginning of the loop, we will check if the switch is tilted, but also if it was previously tilted or not. If it goes from not tilted to tilted, we will use the random function to randomize a number that we store in a variable called reply. Read more about this on page 118 in the project's book, and visit arduino.cc/random to read more about the random function. We will then clear the screen and continue to write messages on the display depending on which value our variable reply holds. To print the correct message, we check the reply variable using a switch statement. Read more about this on page 120 in the project's book, or visit arduino.cc/switchcase to read the syntax. Now we can ask the magic ball anything we like. Magic ball, will it rain on Friday? Next time, we'll show you how to create your own secret box. See you then!